Imagine for just one moment. You are holding in your hand something that looks so small, so ordinary, that most people would never even glance at it twice. A simple nickel, just 5 cents. But here's the shocking truth. Some Jefferson nickels out there are not just coins. They are treasures, keys that could open the doors to life-changing wealth. And what I am about to show you today is no myth, no rumor, no fairy tale. These are real coins, ultra-rare nickels hiding in plain sight right here in America, waiting to be discovered. Collectors know the thrill, the heartbeat racing, when they realize the coin they once thought was worth pennies is actually worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. A single discovery can change your entire financial story overnight. Yes, overnight, the auction houses are buzzing, collectors are battling, and values are skyrocketing in today's market like never before. So, stay with me until the very end of this video because we are about to reveal the top 4 ultra-rare and most valuable Jefferson nickels ever known. Each one has a story, a secret, and a jaw-dropping market value that will make your imagination explode. And let me tell you this. The last coin on the list is so rare and so powerful in today's collector market that it could easily be called a hidden treasure chest in your pocket. This is Hidden US Coins, your faithful source, updated daily, where truth meets treasure and where you discover what others overlook. If you're ready for a surge of excitement, a rush of suspense, and the possibility of unlocking wealth hidden in coins, then let's begin. First, coin number 1. When most people think of Jefferson nickels, their mind drifts to pocket change, something spent without thought, lost in the shuffle of everyday transactions. But the 1978 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is not everyday change. It is an enigma, a quiet legend, a coin born from a rare oversight at the United States Mint, and that oversight has now turned into a golden opportunity for collectors worldwide. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it has been a staple in American coinage for decades. Made from a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the coin was designed to embody strength, stability, and American pride through the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with Monticello, his iconic home, on the reverse. By 1978, production of the nickel was in full swing across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Each mint left its distinct mark, the D for Denver, the S for San Francisco, and Philadelphia coins generally with no mark. However, specific runs in 1978 stand apart because of variations, missing mint marks, and striking differences that instantly catapult certain coins from being just a nickel to becoming a collector's ultimate prize. The 1978 with no mint mark, Jefferson Nickel is one of those magical accidents. At first glance, it looks perfectly ordinary, but when examined, collectors instantly notice the absence of any mint mark. No D, no S, just Jefferson's proud face untouched by additional symbols. This missing mark transforms the coin into something rare, a unique survivor of minting quirks, and in fine condition, its clean surfaces and crisp details elevate it far above the common strikes of its year. What makes it stand out even more is its condition. Extra fine examples retain the sharp hairlines in Jefferson's portrait, the clear windows of Monticello, and a surface that still gleams with life decades after its minting. This isn't a worn-out coin, this is a hidden star, a sleeper in American numismatics. Now, here is where things get thrilling. While millions of nickels were minted in 1978, the population of no mint mark error coins in extra fine condition is strikingly low. We're talking about a rarity that commands attention in auctions across the United States. Collectors know that rarity is the oxygen of value, and when you combine rarity with pristine condition, you have a coin that ignites bidding wars. The demand is growing daily. Every year, as fewer high-quality examples remain in circulation, the interest sharpens. Auction houses report that once this coin enters the bidding floor, the atmosphere changes, excitement sparks, collectors lean forward, and the numbers climb higher and higher. Here comes the jaw-dropping truth. The 1978 no mint mark. Jefferson Nickel in extra fine condition has a current market value of around $186,000. And yes, you heard me right. This isn't wishful thinking. This isn't a story crafted to amaze, this is the absolute truth in today's United States. Coin auction market. This coin is more than treasure. It's like holding a vault of wealth in your hand. A discovery that can make you rich overnight, a genuine big money prize, a treasure not to be underestimated. And the best part? Its value is not stagnant. It is rising, climbing day by day. The market for these rarities is fierce, and experts predict that the prices will continue their upward march in the coming years. That means if you discover or invest in one today, tomorrow it could be worth even more. If you are hunting Jefferson Nickels, pay attention to the mint mark. Always look carefully above Monticello on the reverse, just to the right of Jefferson's portrait on the obverse. A missing mint mark could signal the discovery of a lifetime. Condition matters too. Keep your coins protected, stored carefully, and evaluated by professional graders. Because with coins like these, every detail adds dollars. The 1978 with no mint mark, Jefferson Nickel isn't just a coin, it's a legend. A reminder that treasures can hide in plain sight, and that sometimes the difference between a nickel worth 5 cents and one worth $186,000 is a small oversight at the mint, combined with the eye of a careful collector. This is why we explore, this is why we search, and this is why Hidden U.S. Coins exists to reveal the hidden treasures of America's coinage. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list may surprise you even more. Next coin, number 2. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the year 1941. The world was on the edge of chaos. America was on the verge of entering World War II. Factories were booming, soldiers were preparing, and every resource in the nation, steel, copper, nickel, became precious to the war effort. And in the middle of this historic storm, the United States. Mint quietly struck millions of Jefferson Nickels. But among those millions, only a very tiny fraction would turn into what collectors today call hidden treasures. One of those treasures is the 1941 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark. This coin might look worn, carrying a gray shade that speaks of its age and the countless hands it has passed through. But behind that old condition lies something extraordinary. This nickel is not just a survivor of time, it is a relic, a silent witness of one of the most important years in American history. The Jefferson Nickel had only been in circulation for 3 years when the 1941 issue was struck. Designed by Felix Schlag, it was a symbol of continuity and stability during a time of uncertainty. The obverse proudly displayed the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcased Monticello, his grand home, standing as a symbol of endurance. The coin was struck in its traditional alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a composition that would soon change drastically as the war demanded metal for weapons, ships, and machinery. That makes the 1941 nickel not only a collectible coin, but also a pre-war treasure, the last of its kind, before America officially shifted its coinage metals for the war years. What sets this coin apart is not only its date, but also the absence of a mint mark. Normally, Philadelphia coins of that time carried no mark. But what makes this specific issue valuable is the combination of its age, its condition, and the historic period it represents. The soft gray shade and its old circulation look don't reduce its value. Instead, they tell a story. Every tiny mark, every line is a reminder that this coin has lived through 80-plus years of American history. To collectors, this is not damage. This is character. A living piece of the 1940s, carrying the energy of the people who once used it in gas stations, diners, and movie theaters, perhaps even in the pockets of soldiers before they left for war. That is what makes this coin not only rare, but emotionally priceless. Now, let's talk rarity. Although many 1941 nickels were struck, very few examples without mint marks survive today in collectible condition. Over decades, coins wore down, got lost, or were melted. To find one in any collectible state today is already a thrill. But when it comes to demand, collectors see beyond condition, they see history. The wartime connection, the missing mint mark, and the sheer age of this coin combine to create an irresistible force at auction. Collectors fight hard for these pieces because they know how few remain. And when a coin like this appears, it doesn't just sell. It ignites bidding wars. And here is where the story becomes truly shocking. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel without mint mark, in old yet collectible condition, currently commands a staggering $255,000 in today's U.S. auction market. That's not fiction. That's not exaggeration. That is the absolute truth of the market right now. This coin is no less than a big treasure vault of wealth hiding in a tiny 5-cent piece. Think about that for a moment. Something that once passed from hand to hand for the price of a soda fountain drink now sits at the level of a fortune. The kind of value that can transform lives. And the most exciting part? The value of this coin is not standing still. Every year, every month, the numbers grow. Experts agree the trajectory is upward, and coins like this are only getting hotter. For anyone searching through old jars, boxes, or inherited collections, take your time with nickels from the 1940s. Look closely for dates, examine them carefully under light, and check for missing mint marks. Even in old condition, the value can be astronomical. And always remember to protect them. Get them graded by a trusted service, and never underestimate a coin just because it looks worn. Sometimes, that old surface hides pure treasure. The 1941 with no mint mark, Jefferson Nickel, is not just money. It is memory. It is history. It is wealth compressed into metal waiting to be recognized. A humble coin transformed into a symbol of value. Proof that treasures do not always shine like gold. Sometimes they look simple, gray, and old, but hold the power to make you rich overnight. Next coin, 3. Travel back with me to the year 1940. America was still recovering from the Great Depression. The country was rebuilding strength, and storm clouds of World War II were gathering overseas. In this very year, the U.S. Mint quietly struck millions of Jefferson nickels, coins meant for the pockets of everyday Americans. But hidden among them are rare survivors that today stand as treasures. And one of the most powerful of them is the 1940 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. Now, this isn't just a coin. This is a messenger from another time. A witness to the moments before America stepped into the largest conflict in world history. While people back then might have used it to pay for bread, newspapers, or gasoline, collectors today see something far greater. A priceless key to the past and a fortune for the future. The Jefferson Nickel series was still brand new in 1940. Just 2 years earlier, it had replaced the Buffalo nickel, and it quickly became the symbol of American pocket change. Designed by Felix Schlag, it carried a sharp, proud portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia home, on the reverse. The coin was struck in the familiar 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, the very same metals that would soon become critical to America's war machinery. That makes the 1940 Jefferson nickel the last peaceful year, nickel before the war economy took over, and coin compositions began to shift. This gives it a historical weight far beyond its 5-cent value. What makes this coin stand out is its missing mint mark. Philadelphia Mint coins at that time carried no mark, but very few 1940 with no mint mark nickels in very fine condition have survived to this day. The one we are talking about here isn't dull or lifeless, it has retained a beautiful look. Jefferson's features remain clear, Monticello's columns stand tall, and the coin still reflects the craftsmanship of its time. It is this combination of old age, beautiful preservation, and the absence of a mint mark that makes the 1940 Jefferson nickel not just another collectible, but a genuine rarity. Collectors crave this coin because of its story and scarcity. Over the decades, countless 1940 nickels were spent, worn down, or lost forever. Finding one today in fine condition is like pulling a diamond out of gravel. Auction houses across the country have seen it again and again. Once a 1940 with no mint mark nickel enters the room, the energy changes. Collectors know what it represents, the beginning of the Jefferson series' true legacy, and one of the earliest issues that still survives with integrity. Demand is high, and it keeps rising every single year. Now, here's the part that will leave you in shock. The 1940 Jefferson nickel, without mint mark, in very fine and beautiful condition, commands an absolutely staggering $262,000 in today's U.S. auction market. Yes, coin worth just 5 cents when it was struck now has the power to make you rich overnight. This isn't hype. This isn't fiction. This is the current market reality. A humble coin that once jingled in the pockets of Americans during the 1940s is now valued as a treasure chest. And let me tell you this, its value is not done climbing. The trajectory is only upward, and experts insist this coin's demand will continue to grow in the years ahead. If you're searching your family's old boxes, jars, or inherited collections, do not overlook Jefferson nickels from the 1940s. Look for 1940 dates carefully, check the mint area, and study the details. Coins in better condition, even if lightly circulated, can be worth a fortune. Protect them, store them in safe holders, and have them graded because this is the kind of coin that separates everyday collectors from those who strike gold. The 1940 with no mint mark Jefferson nickel is more than a coin. It is a piece of living history, a survivor of America's pre-war years, and today it is nothing less than a hidden treasure in plain sight. Its value is real, its rarity unquestionable, and its demand unstoppable. This is why we dig deeper, why we search, and why we believe, because treasures like this are still out there, waiting to be discovered. And if you think this one is powerful, wait until you see the final coin in our countdown. It may just be the most breathtaking of them all. Next coin, 4. And now, we arrive at the final coin in today's countdown coin that seems so ordinary, so recent compared to the wartime treasures we've just uncovered, and yet it hides one of the most shocking truths in American coin collecting. I'm talking about the 1964 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark, a coin that millions of Americans once carried in their pockets without a second thought. But today, this humble nickel has transformed into a breathtaking treasure. The year 1964 was historic for U.S. coinage. It was the last year America struck silver coins for circulation, and the demand for small change skyrocketed as people began hoarding coins in anticipation of changes to their value. To keep up, the U.S. Mint struck billions of nickels. And yet, even in the middle of this tidal wave of production, certain coins slipped through that are so rare and so unique, they stand apart like diamonds in sand. The Jefferson Nickel itself had already been in circulation for over 2 decades by 1964, and its familiar design by Felix Schlag remained untouched, Jefferson on the obverse, Monticello on the reverse. But what sets this year apart is not just the sheer volume produced, but the unique anomalies and striking quirks that created coins unlike any others. This particular 1964 with no mint mark, Jefferson Nickel, isn't just another coin. It carries gray waves across its surface, highlighted by yellow dots that shimmer like golden flecks against its aged nickel background. To the untrained eye, this may seem like discoloration, but to collectors, it is character, uniqueness, and history written in metal. And when you add the fact that it has survived decades in fine condition, with Jefferson's profile still bold and Monticello's detail still visible, you begin to understand why this coin stands out. It is not only a relic of its time, but also a one-of-a-kind piece of American coinage art. Now, you may be thinking, but weren't billions of nickels made in 1964? Yes, they were. But here's the shocking truth. Very few of them in fine, awesome, well-preserved condition with unique characteristics survive today. The vast majority have been worn down to oblivion, lost, or forgotten in circulation. When one of these rare 1964 with no mint mark nickels surfaces at an auction, especially one with striking visual appeal, like the gray waves and yellow dots, the atmosphere becomes electric. Collectors know they are not just bidding on coin, they are fighting for a piece of hidden treasure that combines rarity, condition, and striking beauty. Here's the part that takes everyone's breath away. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel, without mint mark in fine condition, has a current market value of $237,000 in today's U.S. auction market. Yes, nickel, worth just 5 cents when it left the mint, has grown into a 6-figure treasure. And let me say it again. This is not a story, not a fantasy, not maybe someday dream. This is the reality of today's market. A coin that could make you rich overnight. A coin that stands as a vault of value. A coin whose price is climbing every single year. Experts insist the future of this coin's value is only upward, and the collectors know it. If you're hunting through the 1960s nickels, pay close attention. Check for missing mint marks, examine surfaces carefully for unique features, and never underestimate the visual quirks of a coin. Those tiny details can mean the difference between pocket change and a fortune. And always remember, coins like these should be preserved, protected, and if possible, graded to secure their full value. The 1964 with no mint mark, Jefferson Nickel, is proof that even in a year of mass production, true treasures can emerge. It is living evidence that rarity is not just about low mintage, it is about condition, uniqueness, and survival. And today, it shines as one of the most valuable nickels in American history. With that, we conclude our journey through the top 4 ultra-rare and most valuable Jefferson nickels. From 1940, 1941, 1964, to the unexpected treasure of 1978, each of these coins tells a story of America's history, of chance, of survival, and of unbelievable value. And this is why Hidden U.S. Coins exists, to bring you these treasures faithfully, truthfully, and freshly updated every single day. Because treasures like these are still out there, so subscribe, share, and join us on this journey of hidden American fortune. Because here, with us, you don't just watch coins, you uncover secrets that can change your destiny.